Well, it's me again. And I haven't gotten running yet, but I got my running clothes on. I don't know if I get this is enough or I got to put on a big fleecer on top of this. But guess what happened last night, guys, right? Oh, wow. COVID everywhere and not a thought to think. And there's Naima. How are you? It's so nice to get your warm words. Boy, nice words are so comforting in life, and we don't share them. You feel something about somebody, let them know, and particularly if it's nice, because then we don't get that. Everybody tells you why you're screwed up, and we're all screwed up too. Yeah, but we got some nice parts. So it's good to let people know that they have nice parts too. And I think it's so important because now everything is such shit going on out there. Let's see. I'm gonna put. Can't put in here now, but maybe I can. I'm gonna put a link to. Here it is. I'm gonna put it. I'll put it in the description later, but I'm gonna put it in the. What do you call it? Oh, now I gotta find you again. Okay, here. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Now, here's the description. Okay, here's a link. I put that up on my stuff. So that link. See, look at my link there. Download that. That's the description of what's in the new CARES package. You're going to be searching the internet. What's in there for me? Can I use it? Not? How do I find out about it? And so that's there for you to look at and download and see. Now, the other important, and I'll put this in the description also after I finish the live, here's how to find your elected official. So what you want to do is, no matter what all the media says, you see what the horses say. I don't know. Is the subject, do you ever hear the saying, get it straight from the horse's mouth? And maybe I'm an old guy, and that's for old people. I got my $15,000 grant this weekend. Wow, Kathleen, from who? Where? Let me know. Let me know where you got it so we can tell other people about that. This shit could be real. So let me know, okay, Kathleen? That really will help me. But straight from the horse's mouth. If you don't know that expression, it's really from gambling and racehorses, when everybody, hey, I know this, I know who's going to win the next race because I got it right from the horse's mouth. So, that's the problem with the internet now and everything. You're getting it mostly from the horse's ass and not from the horse's mouth. So on laws to go to the horse's mouth and not for the other end, you got to go to Capitol Hill. So that's where this report comes out. Actually, I was reading about this new stimulus package in the Washington Post, and they had a link to where they're reading about it. And that's, so you want to see, people have to show sources to just say something that may be true for one instant, but there are 350 million people in here. So you have to know how true that may be to the rest of us. And you have to get the data to do that. It's sort of like the COVID test. Okay, it's 95% safe. Okay, so that's not 100% safe, but the people who are in the 5%, they're going to say, look, it did all this shit to me. Okay, but it's 95%. Life ain't 100%. So you have to know. Now, if that's 80% that got screwed up, then that's important. Hey, I don't want to do that shit, right? 5%, maybe. Yeah. Okay, now let's go back and let's go through what's in the COVID. The new COVID thing. First of all, it's 900 billion. Okay, billion. Who the hell knows what a billion is? All I remember when I first started this business 30, 40 years ago or whatever, I used to say a billion is so much, because this is billions of dollars and what. Now we call it talking trillions, but back when it was just billions, like $1 billion a no. At that time, I used to say, if you spent $1,000 a day, every day since the day Christ was born, okay, so you got 2,000 years or more, and you spend $1,000 a day. That's still not $1 billion. So in this COVID thing, we got 900 of those suckers, right? So that's what we got to play with. Okay. Now, so we got to be able to find something. Okay. Here's what they do. Okay. Unemployment, the first thing is relief for workers and families. Okay. Listen up. And if you don't get what I hear, look, I'm going to have in the description, I'll have these links, and also in the live chat. Look up for my name and you'll see the links there. By the way, Let's Go Help members, I'm still locked out of Facebook. It's been 3 or 4 days. I am like, oh, Deanna, see, now that's love. Yeah, and that's, thank you so much. I mean, just to know you care. I mean, this is what we all look for in life, right? That we're just not a piece of dust, which we actually are. It's hard to realize that, though, right? Sunday morning mass radio show. Oh, that's a cool name. I used to go to mass Sunday mornings. So where was I? It was, so $1 billion, and that's not nothing. Okay, so the first thing is for families and workers, unemployment insurance. Okay, Democrat success. Oh, see, it's written, Democrats did this, so that it's coming from Democrat. So excuse I couldn't find one for Republicans. They're not bragging about much, maybe. Democrats successfully fought to bring back the enhanced federal employment insurance bump, which expired July. Okay, the bill, now this bill, the new one, provides an additional $300 per week for all workers receiving unemployment. Now, this is very important. So listen to what I'm saying and download this document from the Capitol Hill. And also, I'm going to put in the description is a link to how to find your representative. You read the document, you see if there's something there for you. If you're not sure, don't go searching the internet, because you get somebody like me who's interpreted. No, you want the horse's mouth and not the horse's rear end, which is most of the internet. And to get the horse's mouth, you call your elected official, and you have 7 to call at least. And I'll put the link in there. You go commoncause.org and put find my elected official, and that's how to do it. Okay, so they're going to extend for $300 a week. Receive unemployment benefits through March 14th, 2021. So you're going to get $300 a week more till March 14th. This bill also extends the pandemic unemployment insurance program with expanded coverage to the self-employed, gig workers, and non-traditional unemployment. And the pandemic emergency unemployment compensation, which provides additional weeks of federal funded unemployment benefits to individuals who exhausted their regular state benefits. Okay, lots of words in there. I'm not positive because every state is a little different. So you got to deal with your state. But what we're saying is they're going to give an extra $300 a week till March 15th. Okay, now that includes also the pandemic. There's 2 kinds of unemployment. There's normal state and the pandemic. Sometimes they put it together. Sometimes you have to apply separately. So that's a confusion and a big pain in the ass too. But you got to deal with it. You're not going to change the government. You just got to use that sucker. If you want to change it, you got to get elected, vote, and all this kind of stuff. And so that's not going to pay the bills by Tuesday that you need. So I wouldn't worry about it. But more important, the pandemic is the gig work. If you haven't applied for unemployment, you apply no matter what. No matter what if you sat on your ass for the last 20 years, you apply. I can't understand. Nobody knows. And also, if you get denied, appeal. Appeal. So go to the hardware store and get one of those peelers. So you're done to do an appeal, like a peeled banana. You appeal, and if they turn you down or they screw you over, call your elected official. You have to. They're so confused there. It's sort of like Facebook locking me out. It's some gobbledygook I don't understand, and I only talk to robots, and they don't understand. Yeah, and it's been 3-4 days like that, so it's crazy. Okay, so you have extended to March 14th, and the unemployment for pandemic workers. The extension was critical in preventing as many as 14 million Americans from losing economic relief at the end of the year. Additionally, the bill increases the maximum number of weeks an individual can claim benefits through the regular state unemployment plus the PEUC program or through the PUA program for 50 weeks. Now that means all the unemployments now are extended for 50 weeks. You could keep receiving unemployment. See, so that's pretty cool, okay? Because it used to be at 13, 20, 39, I think was the max. So you're up to 50 weeks now, okay? Now you got to verify all this stuff. I mean, don't trust me. You got to go to the horse's mouth. I'm reading something from the horse, but if you have a question, you got to talk to the horse. The bill also provides, listen to this, a bonus. You get the bonus. Okay, you get the bill also provides an extra benefit, $100 per week, $100 per week extra in addition to the $300 for certain workers who have both wage and self-employment income, but whose base unemployment insurance benefit calculation does not take their self-employment into account. Okay, you have two kinds of employments. Okay, you have self-employment and a wage. Okay, so in a lot of states, they're not counting your self-employment as a wage. So they're giving you very little unemployment money. What this does, give you another $100 a week if you're in that kind of case. Okay, that you're not a lot of your wages is counted as unemployment. Again, you're going to have to talk to your your Department of Labor in your state or call your elected official. Okay, now here's another one. Okay, it's also, that's the unemployment. So that's a $300 plus a $100 bonus. You get the bonus. Come on down. Larry, what do we have for him? Yeah. Okay, now direct payments. Direct payments secure an additional round of economic impact payments. I got words that I don't understand for all this kind of stuff. $800 for individuals making up to $75 per year, and $1,200 for couples making up to $150,000 a year. See, $75,000 a year now is considered poor. $150,000 a year for a family is considered poor. So they're going to give you $1,200, but $600 for individual. Now, listen, also $600 payment for each child dependent. So in addition to your $600, you get an extra $600 for each child, not a dependent adult. Again, you got problems. I mean, that's why people call their elected official that, yeah, I would call the federal, because that's going to come from the IRS. And you complain to your 2 senators and congressmen. They're the people who get the IRS to call you. Well, in Russia, you don't call the IRS. IRS call you. Same here. Okay, as well as this means a family of 4 will receive $2,400 in direct payments. Democrats also successfully pushed for provisions, which is retroactive to the CARES Act, to expand those direct payments to mixed status households, importantly providing immigrant families across the country with access to this financial relief. No idea what that means. Haven't looked into it. Not really sure if he is disabled. Who's disabled? Okay. Price. How long does it take to get? Oh, I don't know what. Okay. So that means some people didn't get the CARES Act first time. For some reason, they had a mixed status household. If for some reason you think that was you, find out, because you go back and get that money from the first one, okay? And by the way, you could still apply for that, but through the tax system, I'm pretty sure. Check to make sure. You could file when you pay your taxes next year, in 2021, when you file your 2020 taxes, I think you could still claim this bonus from the first relief package, okay? So that is unemployment and the the stimulus check, okay, the one-time relief. Okay, now here's the other, small business. Now you have to be, I think, about this high. Okay, for small businesses, it's no more than this, then you could get it. Oh, you saw my messy bed back there. Now, okay, small business. Okay, Democrats secured critical funding and policy changes to help small businesses, including minority-owned businesses, nonprofits, and nonprofits recover from the pandemic. This deal includes $284 billion for first and second forgivable PPP loans. Okay, so they're going to have the PPP. So the bathroom's right around here. If you have to go to PPP loans, you go over there. Hiya, Omar. Thank you. See, that's nice of you to do that. I mean, that's warm. I mean, we got to appreciate each other in life. If we don't do that, and we all have little jewels, no matter how big of an asshole most of us are, there's something really good in all of us. Yeah, I believe. Some people don't show it ever. But I'm continually surprised about the joys in life that I didn't know were there. I mean, there was, we have a family friend who is an autistic child who hasn't spoke. She's in second grade, can't speak. They don't know what to do with her. All of a sudden, she was tested. She has a sixth grade math ability. She's never spoken. And she's in so-called second grade. People thought she's can learn nothing and all this kind of stuff, and was tested at a sixth grade math. Hasn't spoken a word yet in life. Incredible. I mean, look at that gift that's in life that we have no idea that's there. And it comes just out of nowhere, and that's why you have to be open to it and realize that maybe there, so you don't ignore these things. Take your time in life. Don't let it buzz by you. Okay, where are we? Democrats again. Okay, so we have the PPP loans that dedicated, set aside for very small businesses and lending through community-based lenders like community development financial institutions and minority depository institutions, and expanded PPP eligibility for nonprofits, including destination marketing organizations and local newspapers who couldn't get the PPP last time. TV and radio broadcasters, 20 million included. Listen to this, very important, very important. Okay, Harry, listen. They included, I touched something on the computer and it went somewhere else. A new EIDL grants for businesses in low-income communities, okay? $20 billion in new grants at the SBA grants. They've got new grants there up to $10,000 because that's what there was last time. So EIDL, go rush now to go there because you don't know how long that's going to do. You got to rush now to go to the EID and apply for it because they went fast last time. Okay, so go now, SBA.gov, look for the EIDL, see if they're set up to accept applications yet to see if you apply. You hear that? Rush now. Go and apply, okay? Very important because that goes back. And that's set aside for businesses in low-income communities, okay? $3.5 billion for continued SBA debt relief payments. Don't know what that is. For SBA debt relief payments, SBA would know what that is. $2 billion for enhancements in SBA lending. I don't know, I guess normal lending at SBA. They have, $2 billion more there. This deal also includes $15 billion in dedicated funding for live venues. Are you a live venue or are you a dead venue? I think most of them are dead. But these are nightclubs and things like that, or concert places, things like that. Live venues, independent movie theaters, and cultural institutions. Okay, now what you have to do is you find a restaurant and you say, we're going to have movie night. Okay, so now you become a movie theater because you have movie night and you get that money. I don't know for sure, but that's the way to use the government. You just comply to the law. You got to figure out what the law is and become that. That's easier than getting the government to change the law to give you the money. You just become what the hell the law has to give you the money. Okay, here, support for community development financial institutions. I think this is very important. You're looking for money, go to what's called the Neighborhood Capital Investment. CDFI, and MDIs, that's for minority communities. So CDFIs, you want to find your local CDFI. Okay, if you Google that, you'll find a map and I'll show you where they're local. These are nonprofit organizations that aren't Wall Street people that are going to bleed the hell out of you. Okay, now for transportation. Now this is sort of interesting to me. Democrats secure major funding to provide relief for transit agencies. Now you're probably not a transit agency. Airlines, you're probably not that. Airline contractors, maybe. Are you supplying an airline? Maybe you're doing food service or changing their tires. I don't know. Airports, state DOTs, motor coach industry. Maybe you're a limo driver. And Amtrak. Specifically, $15 billion in airline payroll support, $1 billion for airline contractor payrolls, $14 billion transit, $10 billion for state highways, $2 billion for airports, and a partridge in a pear tree. No, and airport concessions. Maybe you run a little concession stand in the airport. $2 billion in private motor coach, school buses, ferry industries, and $1 billion for Amtrak. Okay. Now remember. You download, if you look in the live chat, I have the link to this report I'm reading that is from the Congress. Okay, this is the horse's mouth, not the horse's ass is all over the internet. You want the horse's mouth, okay? And that's who you want to deal with. In particular, keep transit agencies running will allow those who must take transit, essential workers, seniors, low-income people, and communities of color to get to work. And access services. For example, African Americans comprise over 12% of the US population, but make up 24% of transit. So that's why minority groups use transit more. And so if that's gone, they can't get to work and stuff like that. So that's why we have transit stuff. Okay, now we have vaccine testing and tracing and community. Funding for vaccine procurement, distribution, providing roughly $20 billion to BARDA. I think that's that defense thing, right? For procurement of vaccines and therapeutics, nearly $9 billion to the CDC and states for vaccine distribution, and more than $3 billion for strategic national stockpile. We're going to stockpile these things along with the oil we have for energy, I guess. This includes $300 million specifically directed to high-risk and underserved areas for distribution, including communities of color. The bill provides more than $22 billion sent directly to states for testing, tracing, and COVID mitigation programs. Of the total of $2.5 billion will be sent as grants to specific target needs in undeserved areas. So that's right. If you're finding, well, thank you again. Boy, I never gotten tips like this. That's so nice. I mean, that's like a kiss on the cheek. Thank you so much. Or a hug. A hug sounds nice, doesn't it? Documents don't make it to the chat. The link to the document, it should up there, I think. Let me, let me see if I can find that document again. I'm going to get that document into the chat. Okay. See that there now? Okay, now we made it into the... And so thank you so nice for you guys to send the tips. I mean, that it just... Unfortunately, in a capitalist society, this is what we... how we talk, and that's why I just know, that's why I don't want to do anything that's not worthwhile. That's why I have the Let's Go Help. That's a way to make sure that I'm doing something of value that people will pay for, because that means it's not a value. Just I think it's cool, and to do things that I think is cool. No, we're here to love each other and to help other people. So I got to do something that you think is important, not what I think is important, and to help try to figure that out. What is important to you, so I could help you get that or do that or whatever. And then it's not that I want to build up a stack of cash, but I got to feed myself. So and to me, capitalism shows you if you're doing something of value for other people. Now, so that's what I like about doing sort of both. They give people free stuff here, so I could get to other people who can't afford the $20. And nowadays, that's true. A lot of people can't, and they should take care of themselves first. Don't take care of me. I'll eat tomorrow. There's too many people in our society that will not, and I don't want to stop, them because they don't have $200, not be able to get the help that is available to anybody with $20 or without $20 or whatever. And so that's a dilemma that I work through every day. Oh, it's a nice problem. I'm not starving. Okay, Democrats have surge funding for all. Okay, so the bill provides $22 billion, all sent directly to the states for tracing. So if you're interested in tracing and things like that, you want to be. Remember, I showed you how to get a free certificate on how to be a contact tracer. Well, that's going to have more money for that. We have to do that, so they're going to be hiring more. You want to know who's getting that money. Your state will know, and if you don't know, then call your elected official. You want to know who in the state is getting the tracing money, because that's what the job you want. See, that's what's important about these budgets. They go, and this is why the fat cats have lobbyists, to find out where the money is or to put something in the law. Now, it's not that hard. It's not impossible, let's say. It's hard to get something in the law for your nonprofit. When they do that all the time. And the congressmen and senators, they have a special form for you to fill out to see if they could get something into the law for you. Okay, Democrats secured federal funding for states K through 12 schools and institutions of higher education that have been significantly impacted by the coronavirus. Who hasn't? Okay, so that means the relief in outlying areas will get $800 million. Governor Emergency Education Relief will get $4 billion. Set aside for private K through 12 schools. Okay, so private schools. There's a set aside for that. Elementary and secondary schools, there's $54 billion. Higher education emergency relief, $22 billion. So what does that mean to you? It means there's money in the school. You have a kid in school, you want to go to that school. Hey, are you getting this emergency relief? You download this report that I have here, take it to them and say, hey, and then say, oh, I don't know. No. Oh, yeah, we'll take care of that, Sally. You don't know. No, you're worrying your pretty little head about this, dog. We got it all under control. Bullshit. You don't really know. Okay, so what you do is you go to your elected official and find out where your school has to apply to get the money from the feds. Okay, so your elected official knows. That's why they're in business to do that. Or if you're a college student, now the college is going to get money, and a lot of this money is probably to help students get through the school year because they don't have any money. So if the college doesn't know, you call your elected official and say, hey, where does my college apply for this money to make sure they get their share? And that's it. See, this is the horse's mouth. The horse's ass is on the internet, and you're going to go there all the time. So instead of the ass, hit the mouth. Okay, and that's the system. The fat cats do this every day. Okay, rental assistance, very, 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 very important. The first ever emergency federal rental assistance program to be distributed by the state and local governments. Okay, first ever rental assistance program to be distributed by the state and local governments. These funds will be targeted to families impacted by COVID. Who the hell isn't? That are struggling to make the rent and may have past due rent compounding on itself. These families will be able to utilize this assistance for past due rent, future rent payments, as well as utility bills, energy bills, and prevent shutoffs. Okay, this is $25 billion going to go to state and local. See, what you want to be first in that goddamn line, okay? Because you know it's going to be a line that's probably, I don't know, maybe it's enough, but you don't want to take a chance, okay? And then there's $800 million as a reserve for Native American housing entities. It also includes an extension. Okay, here's an important thing. an extension to the CDC eviction moratorium. They're extending that. The CDC, I don't know if you read about that or whatever, we talked about it before. That's where you fill out this form at the CDC and they can't evict you until December 31st. Oops, that's next week. They're extending that till January 31st, okay? So that's important to know. Okay, nutrition and agriculture, important. There's food here. 13 billion to increase SNAP billions, SNAP benefits. So you got $13 billion to increase SNAP, which is food assistance, right? Provide additional funding for food banks and senior nutrition programs, and ensure college students have access to SNAP. This bill also dictates $614 million for nutrition assistance for Puerto Rico and territories, and emergency funds for school and daycare feeding program. Okay, so you have a daycare and you're getting food for daycare. It's going to get more there. The bill also includes direct payments, loans. Here also $13 billion for direct payments, purchases, and loans to farmers and ranchers who have suffered due to pandemic. You're a farmer, you're a rancher. Maybe you have a backyard garden. Maybe apply. You never know. It's all about the law. It's not what you think is right or what I think is right. It's what some bureaucrat interprets the law. That's what you got to do. Where do we go to? Okay, so $1 billion for purchase and loans by farmers and ranchers who have suffered from that. It also includes funds to support food supply chain through food purchases, donation to food banks, and local food systems. Not sure what that is. Now, if you're a food bank, you want to know what that is because it says donation to food banks. You're a food supply chain. Don't know what that is? Maybe that's a food wholesaler. You want to find out what that is. How do you find out? Your elected official. CommonCause.org. CommonCause.org. Go to your elected official. Download this report and say, hey, look it, you can get this stuff, and I want some. Okay, here, U.S. Postal Service. Okay, there was a $10 million loan in the first CARES Act for the New York Postal Service. Now they're making it a grant. So if you don't work for the post office, or even if you do, 10 billion sounds like peanuts. Daycare announcement. Daycare. And go outside. The plans are not. Yeah, 2 of them are going to crash or get close or something like that. Yeah, I heard that. Democrats successfully $10 billion in emergency funds for childcare sector through, write this, CCDBG, community development block grant. Oh, that's a community block grant. So through the block grant, that's called, okay, download this. Go to your office in your county, has the people who get the block grant money. It goes from the federal to the state to the county and sometimes cities. So you're looking for who in your state, who in your city, who in your county. Maybe start at the county. Say, hey, there's going to be money, $10 billion in emergency funds for daycare through the community block grant program. See, this is where they just send you money and you do what it is. But now they're earmarking this money to be for daycare. Who gets it in daycare? The funds maintain flexibility given to states through the CARES Act and can be used to provide childcare assistance to families and to help childcare providers cover these increased operating costs due to the pandemic. Okay, because the kid's not going to school, you have hired childcare. That's what it's for. How do you find out? This is going to be through your county government. How do you find that out? You got to find who in your county government has the community block grant. How do you find that out? If you can't call 211 or something like that, your county government, Call your elected official. How do you find out? You go to commoncause.org and you put find my elected official, and you get a database that you put in your address, and you get all your elected officials and the contact people. Okay, this emergency relief will help stabilize the child care market. Well, particularly if you're a child care provider, man, you want to know about this. Jeremiah, and allow states to expand child care assistance for essential workers and working families who are in great need of child care services. So if you're paying for child care, you want to know about this, okay? You're a child care provider, you're paying for child care. You gotta know about this. I can't give you a direct link. It's different everywhere. You got to learn how to do this research. It's no mystery. It's going to take time, yes. Everything does. And even if I gave you the link, it's still going to take time. So put in the link and find out to take time so you never need me again. You don't never have to give me $20. What do we got now? Broadband. $3.2 billion in emergency funds for low-income families to access broadband through the FCC fund. Additionally, Democrats created a $1 billion tribal broadband fund. The Democrats secured $250 million in the telehealth funding and $65 million to complete the broadband maps in order for the government to effectively dispense funding in areas that need it most. Last, Democrats provided $2 billion in small telecommunication providers to get rid of the Chinese equipment and replace it with U.S. equipment. Holy shit, we worry about that. Okay, here's what it is. You have trouble paying for internet. You have trouble paying for any of this stuff. There's a program at the FCC. This money, that $3.2 billion, is going to go through the FCC program. What do you know about that? You probably don't. How do you find out about that? You could go to the FCC and look for access, broadband access, something like that. I forget what I've seen the program a lot. It's a lot. A lot of the big providers have it. If you don't know, then if you don't know how to find out about it, contact your elected official. Let them find out where to find out about that if you have trouble paying for broadband. There's obviously grant money here for you to pay for broadband, and you want to know. And so this is where the elected officials earn their living, because otherwise you're going to go on the internet, you're going to get some other wacko like me telling you what's real. May or may not be. You got to go to the horse's mouth, or you're going to get somebody going to charge you money for this, like me, $20. So you want to go to the horse's mouth. Who made this? The law. The elected officials made this law. So go to the people who wrote them. Just like how to get a grant. You ask the people who give out the grants. Don't ask me. Give you some help or whatever, but no, you want to ask the people. Not a member, but really need your help. I owe back taxes to the IRS and need help. What do I do? There are programs for that. I forget what they're called. Contact the IRS ombudsman. You can start finding that through that. If you remember, I'll send you the link or whatever. Look through my old videos about that. But there's a program you can negotiate down, and you don't need an attorney or anybody else to do it. I have a video on YouTube on it. I'm an old guy and I just forget a lot of details about stuff. But you pay up to only 10% of what you owe. And they're all negotiable. And it tells you how to do. There's a special program to do that. And there's people selling that service that are going to collect the 90% from you or something, or half of it. And they're just scammers going to charge you money for something you could do. IRS advocate, yes. So you want to negotiate a settlement is what you want to do. Thank you. Okay, so we got broadband. Now here's some miscellaneous. We're almost done, so be careful. You go out to recess soon. Actually, you can't go out, right? Coronavirus Relief Fund extension. The bill extends the availability by 1 year for funds provided to states and localities in the relief fund. Okay, that's money to your local, state, and county government to get through the virus. They were loans, and you had to pay them back. Now they're giving them another year extension. Okay, now this is an appointment for a small business. Extension of employee retention tax credit. Find out about that. If you have a business or want to start a business, this is a way for the IRS to give you like up to $5,000 of their money, not your money, their money to help you start a business. And it's called a tax credit, even though you don't pay taxes. The bill importantly extends and expands the refundable employee retention tax credit, ERTC, which was established in the CARES Act. The extension of this tax credit helped additional U.S. workers on payroll and more small businesses and nonprofit across the country. It's a way to get an extra $5,000 grant for your business, okay? It's through hiring somebody, though. Special look back for EITC. This is another important thing. We had earned income tax credit. This is where the government, even if you don't pay taxes, they give you like $5,000 to $10,000 from the government. You just get a check, sort of like a stimulus check, but it's not. It's called an earned income tax credit. I think you have to have the children for this. It's up to a certain income, like $35 or $35,000 or $40,000 in that range. And the bill includes a special temporary rule allowing lower income individuals to use their earned income from the tax credit of 2019 to determine their earned income tax credit and the refundable portion for the tax credit for 2020. So that way, when you're filling out the 2020 taxes, you take your 2019 data, because you probably didn't work. And you'll get what you got in 20. Now, another thing about earned income tax credit, it goes back. You could go back like, I forget, 3 to 5 years. So if you've never filed for that, you could go back and collect 20 grand and filing out a couple of forms. There's a lot of free help to do that. Call your local library or call 211 or Aunt Bertha, or whatever that thing is called now, or whatever, to find free help to do the taxes like that. Okay, contractor pay extension. You probably don't want that. The bill provides federal agencies the authority to reimburse contractors for the costs of paid leave during the COVID pandemic. The contractors who are temporarily unable to work due to the facility closures and other restrictions. This is particularly important for our national labs like Brookhaven National Laboratories and national security facilities. My guess, I don't think I have one person watching this who works at the national labs. Maybe I do. I don't know. I certainly don't know everything. So that's what it is. It's to give your employer money for giving you paid leave. That's sort of interesting. Okay. 2 links. After I close this down, I'm going to go in the bottom and put 2 links. And also, if you're interested in Let's Go Help, that's where we answer one-on-one. And we do it through the you don't get a phone call or anything, can't afford that. But we do it through the description. You start a discussion, You start a discussion on the closed Facebook. You won't see me on there because I'm locked out by Facebook. So me or one of the other researchers that will answer your question personally on where's the best place to go. So you need specifics on anything. What we'll probably do is make sure you get the report, okay, that I'm reading from. I just read something that the government, the horse's mouth, sent out from the legislature that it described it all. It's better than I could ever do. And that's what's important. And so that's why I'm going to put that in the description below this. So you get the information from the horse's mouth. And also, if you want to join Let's Go Help, it's www.letsgo. And if you think it's a ripoff, I'll refund you money. You having money is more important than me feeling I'm right. You feeling you're right is more important to me than me feeling I'm right. So whatever you feel is right, I'll refund that. So don't worry about it. Let's Go Help. Okay, the 2 links, remember, on the bottom. And just a lot of nice words that were in the discussion. And thanks for putting up with me. I think I had a little indulgement. I went to my son's thing for a birthday party last night, and they start me eating a sweet. Once I have one sweet, that's hard to stop. so he's a pusher. He's got a Jewish wife. You know how they are. They're food pushers. So I started on a little sweet craving last night. So I got to run that off or walk that off fast or whatever the hell it is. So I'll see you soon. Thank you for Let's Go Everything You Do. Oh, pleasure. See, I'm going to do this till I die, as long as I get this kind of feedback. If it's not that feedback, then help me to tell me what you really need. So I'll work on that. What about independent contractors who work assignments? Yeah, same thing. No, apply for the unemployment today. Yeah, no, I'll don't. This anybody. You've been sleeping on the couch for 7 years. Apply for unemployment today. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. No, I can't answer for sure. The way you get for sure is you apply, and they either say there's one of two answers, yes or no. And if you get no, then you call back, say, hey, that's wrong. And then if you get a no again, then you go to elected official. Or you get the runaround. You go to the elected official. Man, you got to use it. They don't know what they're doing. This is so screwed up. You think the government knows what you're doing. You think that these smart people that run the government, they don't know what they're doing. They're trying, just like you and I do, but we still screw up. I screw up so much more now as I get older. I don't remember shit, and so I make a lot more mistakes than I ever had. And that's fine. That's what being human is all about. So be human, and that's why show your humanness. Don't pretend you're perfect. Show human, because it's easier to help a human than somebody trying to pretend they're perfect, because they're not. And it's so obnoxious when they act that way. Talk to you soon.